Alright y'all, I am back at it here, going towards the Commonwealth cabin. This is actually the second video I've filmed today because we were gone for a few days. Came back, had enough to do 2 videos. I didn't want to fill it up, so you'll see some other items that I just pulled out there. But I got an interesting message from somebody, and they're like, hey, this is it for me. I'm giving eBay one last shot. And if they don't come through during Q4 this year, I'm quitting. And I thought, interesting. So I want to talk about that topic today. I want to talk about Q4. I want to talk about how it's going for you. There's Turner behind me. And I've got to hustle because I've got to get him out of here in an hour and a half. So hopefully we can get this all done. There's actually very little chance that I'm going to get it all done because that's what we pulled already. I'm going to have to ship that. There's some big items, but my wife's going to have to come and help me out today because this is all got to go out of here. Everything I just filmed plus all this. And I'm looking for a King in His Court program. Took me a while to dig it out, but I found it. And some of you may admit this here. Some of you may not. Maybe some of you don't do this, but every once in a while at a yard sale, I find something that I'm very nostalgic about. And I buy it even though the price isn't right. I paid a couple of bucks for this, and I'm like, this is going to be a slow seller. But I'm buying it anyways because I remember my grandfather talking to me about the King in His Court and how they played against him. You know, they go on tour and play different things, but a 4-man softball team and how they beat him and whatever. My grandfather was in Korea, and he played a little bit of softball out there. I hear a dog tearing apart a box, I think. Anyway, I won't bore you with the story. I'll just say it sold. Took a long time, year and a half, I think. $12.95 plus shipping. So I'm curious, how many of you out there are in that situation? You're really hoping for this Q4 bump. How is your Q4 going, by the way? And if it's not good, then are you going to be done? And I had this exact message the other day, and I'm like, wow. But here's what's interesting about it. They were putting all the pressure on eBay, and I want to send them a message. Maybe they'll hear this and say, what is it that you're doing? Okay, eBay's different. It's not the same as it used to be. It's certainly not the same as it was during the pandemic a few years back, where you could just list stuff and it sells, right? And so what is it that you're doing? Or is it all on eBay? And that's kind of what I want to dig in today. This is Rain. This is a sugar glider, and it had a tag. If you remember, I bought a bunch of these for $1. And not a bunch of these, but a bunch of Squishmallows for $1. And there were some winners in there. This one sold for 20 bucks plus shipping. You know, if you listen to this show, I'm always preaching, maybe it's not preaching, but the eBay's different for everybody, and people's experiences are different. Every single time I do a video like, hey, my sales are slow, it's not good right now, I get people in the comments like, it's the best it's ever been for me. And when I do a video about how it's going amazing for me, I get people like, well, it's going well for you, but it stinks for me. So there's all kinds of different experiences. That tells me that we have more power over this than we think, and I don't like ceding all my power to eBay. Plus, there's also a different mindset. You know, I'm going to figure out a way to make this work. Maybe I'm not going to put all my energy into eBay. Maybe I'm going to put my energy other places. Or maybe you've tried that and eBay is it, right? You get more sales on there than anywhere else, and those have slowed. And hey, if they don't perform, if there's these glitches during Q4, if you see these wild roller coasters and just, you know, no selling for 3 days in a row or whatever, you might get fed up with it. And there is a time to quit, you know, for everything there is a season, right? But I am just curious, do you put all your eggs in one basket? When would you call it good? When would you be done with it? And I want to talk about that a little bit, but I got to pick some stuff. We'll mix it in. See, I'm of the mindset that, yes, eBay has its problems. eBay has its ups and downs. But I'm going to figure out a way to continue to resell because I love it so much. Regardless of what eBay does, I would love eBay to be thriving. These are Liberty overalls. It's a set of 2. And there's issues with the second one, major issues with the second one. But I decided to put them together anyways, so some people just don't care when they're buying workwear because they're going to get it filthy anyways. These sold for 30 bucks together, plus shipping. Before we get into this further, how many of you all feel that way? You just really want Q4 to be good. You want all the changes that eBay's been doing to stop. You want all the ups and downs. You just want a good, solid Q4. And if you don't get it, it's not worth your time anymore. Tell me if that's you in the comments below. Personally, I'm not in that situation. I figure, like, you know, I'm going to figure out ways that even if eBay's not doing great, I'm going to figure out a way to fight through it and continue. And I will have to say that eBay has been pretty darn good when I'm working it. When I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, it's producing. And when I'm not, it's not. This is a messed up box for this Transformer game. However, it is complete. And so I bought it anyways. And I'm glad I did because the prices were so cheap. I'm sorry that it wasn't in better condition. But, like I said, the game was complete. It is a vintage game, and it sold for $22.95 plus shipping. And it is going to a viewer. It's going to Kristen. I'm a longtime viewer and also a part-time reseller. This will make a great Christmas gift for a friend. Continue to love all your content. I appreciate that. Well, I hope they don't mind the box isn't great. I'm going to double check the pictures, make sure we've got it accurately pictured in there, but it is complete. So if they want to play it, they're going to be in good shape. There, I sold something I love to sell. Turner's doing some work right there. All right, this is a Napa cassette holder that I got at the basement sale, which probably hasn't aired yet. But there's the back. It is not in perfect condition, so it did not get top dollar, but it got okay money. It's not in bad shape. It's good construction on it anyways. It's not like it's falling apart. It's got little scratches and stuff on it. And this is headed out. It's going to California, unfortunately. But we have enough shipping built in that we're going to be okay. Sold for $42.90 plus shipping. And this one says repeat buyer. I don't know. Oh, it's Totes My Goats. There you go. Elizabeth, so thank you for that. I appreciate it. It is headed your way. I really want to talk about the things that I feel I'm responsible for. I can't put it all on eBay. I see Turner out here getting ready for baseball, and I think of the way I used to talk to my kids. You know, I'd hear parents would come in, have a meeting and whatever, like, all right, we're going to give it a shot. And, you know, if the season doesn't go well, we won't play again next year. But I'm like, that's not the mentality. It's not like I'm going to give it a shot. It's like I'm going to make this happen. And if you get in there and it's not going the way you want it, you make the adjustments either to make it happen there, or if you feel like it's not possible, that there are serious problems, in this case with the platform, then you go a different direction. I realize that people don't have that time and energy sometimes if you're out there working a full-time job to be able to do those things. So I totally get the sentiment. I don't want to say that I don't. But I really believe it is a mindset. It's like, okay, if eBay makes you zig, then you better zig. And if you don't like it, then yeah, maybe it is time to quit. So there's just a different mindset for different people depending on how bad you want something. And I've had to adjust things. I've said it before, and I'll talk about some of them in this video. And to be honest, there have been wild swings already in this Q4 for me, and I hope hopefully it stabilizes. But if it doesn't, you know what? I'll just live with this, the wild swings and budget it, I guess. I don't know what to tell you. G.I. Joe, Real American Hero, the box is in good shape with the exception of this. And it's got, I don't know if this one was complete or not. I can't remember if like 99%. But either way, we got almost 100 and, well, maybe it was exactly 190. Let me double check. Yeah, $190 for this G.I. Joe headquarters right here, which is cool. And this is not the earliest version. See if I can find a date on it. I can't. I probably can in the title. I don't see it. But it is a really nice, cool piece, and the boxes for these really make it worth it for folks. So that is a nice sale. I had to look. It's 1992 Command Center, 99.9% complete. Took a lot of labor. This is a Jess project because I'm just like, I don't know. My guess is she spent an hour on this thing. So I'm not making, you know, I got to pay her, so. But at that price, definitely worth it. That's the kind of thing I just set aside. I'm like, Jess, you come in for a few hours. Because it is good money, and I'm happy about it. So I appreciate that. Well, I don't have to thank anybody. This is not a viewer sale, but I'm still appreciative of it. And let me tell you, that's part of a wild swing day as well. When we were on vacation and when the store opened back up, we went from over $1,000 one day down to like 220 the next. And shoot, I'll take that all day long. I talked about not ceding all my control over something to a platform, but like I said, I do get the sentiment, right? When you work your butt off and you don't see the results. But there are so many things that I used to not have to do that I do have to do now. Like doing inventory through the bins, going back and rechecking and making sure the markets are still right and the prices are still right on stuff. I do that more than I ever have. It's a pain in the butt, but I love it so much. I'm just going to keep at it and keep finding best practices. Sanyo VPC T700. This one sold for 30 bucks plus shipping. So how is your Q4 performing? If you see a drop, if you've been working as hard, posting as much, going back rechecking, checking titles, checking pictures, doing all the stuff you're supposed to do you think this Q4 is going to end up being better based on what you've seen in the early stages, or worse than last year? Or do you need to see bigger growth? Are you working harder just to make the same amount of money? I want to know all those things down below in the comments. And for me, that also included changing my sourcing techniques, not listing things that I used to list because the sell-through rate's not great, and then you get a bloated store and you get issues like that. Unfortunately, I think I'm trying to find this one. I think I saw this one at a sale. It's a John Hagee prophecy Bible, and I knew it would be good, and I saw it like it's 20 bucks. I'm like, doggone it, but I still bought it because I know it sells for 50. So 20 into $50 plus shipping seems worth it to me. It's about a $20 profit or so. And to me, it's worth it because I knew it would be a fast seller. One of the other things with me, if I'm honest, because I really, truly do love eBay and I want eBay to work, I don't want to list on 70 sites. But at the same time, I keep my toes everywhere. I started Divdit.com because I want to be able to sell the things that I love to buy forever, regardless of all the other stuff. And Shop Commons to make my processes a little quicker and be able to not have to sell things of quantities of whatever if I didn't want to, or cherry pick, or do whatever it is that worked for me to streamline my systems. But in honesty, all honesty, I want eBay to work. I want that to be, that's the way it used to be for me. I only sold on eBay for 20 years, for goodness sake. Well, not quite. 16 years or so. And it's easier that way, not to have to cross-list, not to have to do this. But I love it so much. I want to make it work no matter what happens to any of these platforms. And I've always said the competition between them is good. I'm wondering if there's anybody out there that would quit selling on eBay to just sell on one of these sites. I hear the whatnot stories and whatever, but is anybody out there like, okay, I'm going to keep reselling forever. I just might drop eBay. I don't hear that very often. And for me, most of my sales come over there anyways, at least the high dollar ones. But increasingly, there are more marketplaces to do this, and some of them grow a little faster than others. And some die. Kittison just died. Kittison is gone. And some of you may have sold on that. Hey, I just sold some Hot Wheels. And I don't normally sell Hot Wheels, but these are an exception because they were Rugrats Hot Wheels. And they were not listed long. I know that because they were sitting right here. I just put them in here. So these actually, I might have bought these over on Divdit. I've mentioned before Divdit.com where I put back every dime that I make into purchases over there. And a lot of times I end up making money on the purchases I did on these. And there is a set of 3 Rugrat Hot Wheels. Bought them in a lot. You buy a bunch over there and they add the shipping together so it cuts down on the costs. And these sold pretty quickly. 20 bucks. No. $18.95 plus shipping. Hey, I have to mention this before I go on any further. We'll get back to the video. But a big giant thank you to Brian. Let me see if I can find it. It's Sweet Peas Attic, Brian Wood. Hey, Kevin, well, let me tell you what he bought. He bought one of our charity auctions, and this is one where it immediately goes to where it's supposed to be going. In this case, I believe it is Samaritan's Purse. And it was all 3 of the Enaman. The number 1 Enaman, and then the Enema Man number 2 and number 3. We put them all together. We also threw in a Christmas ornament together. We auctioned them all off together, which we've only done one other time. And $102.50. It is a charity auction. Half that money immediately went through the eBay system. Hey, Kevin, longtime supporter. I'm glad I finally won one of these. Well, you won 4 of them. The way I look at it, if one Enaman can help your store get moving, maybe 3 Enaman can get my store and my YouTube channel, Sweet Peas Attic, moving as well. So y'all go check that out. I'll need to go check that out. Sweet Peas Attic. And it's apostrophe S, moving as well. Thanks again for all you do for the reselling community, but more importantly, the various charities you and your family support. Well, let me just say this. We do that personally and privately as well. but it's you guys who are donating this money. This money came from you. So thank you very, very much. Much love from Pennsylvania, Brian, aka Sweet Peas Attic. P.S. I still wear the Isaiah 117 bracelet I won from Mary's van charity back in February. Well, that is awesome. Thank you. We appreciate it, and I know Mary appreciates that van that she got, and we contributed a little bit to it, and the viewers did as well. If you don't remember that, it's just an incredible lady who worked with Isaiah House, and we were glad to help out with that. So, Brian, thank you, and thank you for helping then, and thank you for helping now. Here's a pretty cool sale. And it's a Polo Sport. Love the color block on it. And got the hoodie and all that. I saw it hanging there. I think this is how it went down. Asked how much it was. They didn't have a price. And went inside and came back out. And then I offered. I'm like, hey, you take $5 for it? I mean, they didn't have a price still. And they're like, yeah, we can do that. I'm like, sweet. I didn't know what it was worth. But it had to be worth, you know, at least 20 to me in my mind. And I looked this one up. And it was worth far more than that. It sold for $80. $79.95. Plus shipping. I guess for a second we could get into expectations. What are your expectations of eBay? What are your expectations of Q4? I have high expectations, to be honest with you, but it's not because of my expectations of eBay. It's because of my expectations of me. Unless there's some epic failure or something on eBay and the platform's got all kinds of issues and whatever, I expect to out-hustle folks and to get stuff posted, to get the right stuff posted, to take care of issues that might hamper the store, and just get it done. So I have high expectations. I've got a bunch. I sourced right, I hope. Everything's been done that I can do so far to make this thing work. So I have high expectations. But, you know, there's other issues too. There's a lot of people who don't have high expectations of Q4 just because of what they perceive as an economy that may not be the perfect economy for this type of selling on eBay. You know, I don't know. This economy is a weird one, y'all. I mean, I just got to be honest with you. It's hard to decipher it. And I've lived a long time and been through ups and downs and studied ups and downs in the past. And this is just an odd economy. It's got incredible wealth for some folks who are just killing it, incredible difficulties for others. And even in the middle class, there's people succeeding, people failing. You know, the inflationary concerns have always been a concern in this particular economy. And that means people are pinching pennies. They don't have a ton of money out there to spend on this type of stuff. But some people got more money than they know what to do with. So I don't know if that, I'm not really talking about that. I'm talking about eBay issues and what we can do. There's some things you just can't control. I mean, here's a great example. People are spending $15 on a sleeveless Enron shirt. I mean, it just blows my mind what people will buy. But they did. And that one's not even made in the USA. It's not single stitch. It is vintage because it's Enron. $14.95 plus shipping. I gotta be honest with you. My expectations in the micro sense, the right now are high. But my expectations in the macro sense are even higher. I just see this as a growing market. More and more people, in spite of the economy, will want to purchase things conveniently online. And eBay, if they do what they're supposed to do, in my opinion, and they focus on what they're good at, it's going to continue to grow. And maybe even, you know, it's kind of leveled. I could see it growing a lot in the future, with these younger folks growing up used to buying this way, and now they can go out and find the things that they want in a convenient way. They're at home. You know, there's not as much traffic in the brick and mortar stuff. I'm just excited about it. But at the same time, I get it, and I'm a little hesitant about certain things and certain decisions and uncertainty in certain marketplaces. I mentioned on the last video that our viewer sales are typically 10 to 20% of our sales, and that's actually bumped up in the last two videos here because we shut the store down, but we allowed sales. And usually when that happens, a lot of people are like, I'm not buying this and waiting 6 days to have it shipped. But viewers don't care as much, so our viewer sales have gone up a little bit in that little blip of time. Maybe around 30 or even a little bit higher than that % of our sales, and this is a viewer sale as well. I always try to clarify, you know, and because people always come after me for viewer sales, I'm like, well, what do you want me to do? But that's, you know, this stuff would sell eventually anyways. This was a newly listed item. It was gonna sell, but it sold quicker because we have viewers that buy stuff. And in this case, It was bought by Shauna. So Shauna, I appreciate that greatly. Watch the videos all the time. Thank you for all the insight and knowledge you provide. Keep up the great work. Shauna, I appreciate that. And this sold for, we sent you an offer on this one, $23.70 plus shipping. It was $5 at a sale. And this should probably go for around $30 if it was perfect. But it's not. You can see there's issues. There's issues here, back here. It's not perfectly clean even though it's in the box. But this is, you know, this is an early one, y'all. Look at the graphics on it. And so this is not something that's out there very much. And so I figured I'd grab it anyways, figuring I could at least get $25 for it. And we basically did $23.70 plus shipping. I already had Reagan come out today, and we filmed for the last video and this video. She's already filmed her spot, which hasn't appeared in this video yet. But I wish I would have seen this sale before, because she does all my research on jewelry. If I buy a big lot of jewelry, I'll just give it to her, and I pay her by the hour. And she'll, which, you know, and I might only take 10 minutes to do it, but she keeps track of that. And she'll go through and she'll find the sterling silver, or if there's nothing, or look at maker's marks and stuff like that. She helps me with that stuff. This video should be coming out soon. I was struggling to find stuff in September, y'all. And so I would dig at yard sales. And sometimes I come home with stuff and I'm not very happy. And then I get home and I'm like, whew, that was way better than I thought. It's a bunch of jewelry, and if I could see markings on it, I was just picking it up for whatever the price was, $1 a piece. And we came up with a few sterling pieces, and then one item that wasn't sterling, but it was really good. And Reagan told me, she's like, this says made in Italy, and she did a little Google lensing on it and found that this might be a pretty good little item. Whoop, that's not it. And it's right here. And I spent, I don't know, 10 bucks on jewelry that day, and I got a bunch of it. And this one right here was probably the best of all of them. But we're going to make a couple $100 on that $10. This is a bracelet made in Italy. Let me see if I can look at the... It says Micro Mosaic Made in Italy bracelet. And there is... Oh, it's FAP. And that stands for something. But that's the brand. And I can't remember what it is. But the Micro Mosaic. It reminds me of the old miniatures they used to do when I used to teach AP World History in India. And they were really tiny little, like, they'd use little brushes that were like one horsehair. Crazy stuff. But that is a cool little Micro Mosaic Made in Italy bracelet. And it sold for $44.95. And it sold fairly quickly, within a couple of weeks. I was wondering how long that one would take. So that paid for all the jewelry we bought that day. Plus we're in the profit. Plus we got a ton of it left. And I actually sold a lot from that sale as well over on Shop Commons. A lot of sterling silver rings. I think we got like $21 for that. So we're already, what is that, $21 and $65 out of our $10. And we still got a bunch of that jewelry left. And really, that's what I mean by make it work. I just don't take no for an answer most of the time. Until I do. We all get fed up at some point. But it's like, sourcing's bad. Okay. How do I get around that for the time being? And then sourcing turned out to be pretty good. But we were doing other things to make sure. You know, I was digging more at yard sales. I was trying to pull value out of places. I was making phone calls to folks, local folks who had stuff to sell. I was making connections with my buddy Joey. We did a storage unit. We did a basement clean out. We've got more stuff lined up. If something doesn't work, I find a different way to make the dang thing work. That doesn't work for everybody. I got a lot more time to do that kind of stuff. If you're out there busting your butt for 50 hours a week, you want it to work the way it's always worked. You want it to be smooth. You want to have fun at yard sales, go to thrift stores, put it on eBay, and have that dang stuff sell. So I'm not saying my experience is everybody's, but for me, I'm not going to be like, I'm giving eBay one last chance here. Because you know what? If eBay fails, that means something else is going to succeed. There's not going to be a vacuum. You know, we talk about vacuums in history. We used to do it all the time. When you have empty spaces, they tend to get filled. And that's what happens in the reselling market. If there's an empty space, somebody's going to fill it up. Reselling's not going away. Buying conveniently online is not going to go away. I'm not dependent on eBay. I love it. I want it to succeed, but I will find a different way if need be. At this point, I don't think it's necessary to find 50 different ways, but I want to be dabbling in 2 or 3 at all times. Speaking of alternative sourcing, this was a contact that I made of somebody who had their own, it's actually like a brewery / coffee place. And I made that contact, and I got a phone call saying, hey, I got a ton of this stuff. We sold it all. Some of it was a little higher end than this. This is the lowest end stuff, and it sold for $20.95. And we might have had like 90 pieces, and we're down to like 4 of these left. So we did really good, even though, you know, paying $5 for a $21 item isn't amazing. When you have multi-quantity, it definitely makes it worth it. And so that one's headed out the door. I think we have 4 or 5 left. All right, y'all, Turner's back with some Commonwealth comedy with a couple of pups here, more Wallen, how much more? Wallen and Poncho. And just a reminder here before he tells you your joke, we have some Commonwealth Picker 50-50 charity auctions. I haven't announced them all. We're going to be throwing in weird stuff, different stuff all the time. And 50% of that money goes directly to the charity right through eBay's system. Or sometimes we're putting them over on dibdit.com as well. So we might put some special ones over there. But anyway, what are y'all doing? Y'all fighting? Huh? They're brothers, by the way. Different litters, but they're both brothers. All right, Turner's got a joke. What do you got?
Why did the cranberry blush?
Why did the cranberry blush? I don't know why.
Because it saw the turkey dressing.
It saw the turkey dressing. Thank you, Turner.
Bye.
Kevin. First of all, I'm shipping all this stuff. And as usual, he has forgotten something. Some Dwight Yoakam cassettes. Look at this place, too. Absolute mess. Absolute mess. So, a cassette, a lot of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Dwight Yoakam cassette sold for $18.95 plus shipping.
All right, this might look like last video because we're filming it right after we filmed that segment last time, which is why Poncho's in the same spot, No Name's in the same spot, and Reagan's in the same spot. So who are you thinking on this video?
Cheryl and Charles both got an ornament and a black light, and then Nancy, Roxanne, Deborah, Lola, and Lori all got ornaments.
You got it. And when I filmed this, there were still 12 left. But my guess is that there are far less than that over on CommonwealthPicker.com. You can also check Dibdit. We put a few over there, Dibdit.com. Use code Commonwealth for $5 off if you've never bought anything over there before. Thank you, Reagan.
Bye, and don't forget to get your stickers at CommonwealthPicker.com.
A couple more things here I got to mention. And Mountain Man Picks bought a Christmas Animan ornament over there and used the code. I think you did anyways. Use the code. Code Commonwealth gets you $5 off. So you got one of those guys for $5 plus shipping over on dibdit.com. Come and join us, y'all. Come and join us, support some other folks. If you find something, if you're looking for something cool for that vintage lover in your family, check over there first. I love to support those folks. That's what I'm doing. We're also going to be posting on Facebook, Trash to Cash Facebook group. We're going to be posting people's stores over there. And if you're looking for something, you know, in particular, you could even put a post over and say, hey, I'm looking for this. I'd rather buy it from somebody in this community, that kind of thing. We do that every year, too. I'm going to have the kids give me a list of the things that they might want that we could find from eBay sellers. Turner's already given me a list. Turner doesn't miss a beat when it's holiday time. He's like, oh, this is it. Because he doesn't ask for much during the year, boy, but he'll come up to me during the year and he'll say, you think, you know, Christmas time or something? Uh-oh, here he comes. Are you hiding from the dogs?
Yeah.
Turner, are you going to get a new glove? Yeah?
Yeah.
He's a nut. At any rate, he's playing with the dogs here, and I got to get him going anyways. Reagan's got to go to practice. Turner's got to be somewhere, and I gotta ship 1, 2, 3... at least 3 of these things. I can't leave my wife with everything. So tell me, where are you at? Are you at your wit's end with reselling? Are you new and it's growing and you're successful? Are you ready to give up, or are you bullish on the future? So let me know where you're at in your situation. I feel for everybody out there. Everybody's situation is a little bit different. But we appreciate you stopping by as always, and I can't wait to see you next time.